But he been drunk. I'm gonna ping you. You heard to speak English, bro. I'm cool with this.
Who's Pee?
You going to speak English, Robbie, and his friends.
Do he even be understand you?
I just use fucking translator. That nigga speak. Think so.
You know what you can actually do, right?
Huh?
But you can change your what's called to no, like Chinese. Say he Chinese. You could change it to that. Like you could use these. Type what you can write and he's gonna put it in Chinese and send it. And he can be able to read it.
Before not changing, was clapping though. You've been on for that flying ass. You've been on for that.
I'm kind of scared because if I see Spider-Man soon getting out the buildings, I'm running.
He can hit 200 pump. Spider-Man can hit so he get 200 pump. Nigga come from our building. Nigga wear me up to a wall type shit. That'd be funny as hell.
Imagine you doing that while you stripping his brother. It's just like a cutscene of Spider-Man just coming. You gotta try to beat Spider-Man after the pickaxe.
Yeah.
What is one gun? What is one gun you know you can
Really, that's actually weird.
what?
No, the little cyber, the little statue.
They should have made.
If you watch the show, you understand what the hand though. That shit creepy as hell.
What?
Creepy, yeah. That nothing that nigga Bill with the triangle and the eye. I forgot before. Yeah,
That
that
nigga OP.
So my brother. So who you think it was? Goku or Batman?
Goku.
OP? What?
Batman called up Superman. It's over with, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Superman.
Yeah, Superman.
What about Superman versus Goku?
Superman killing him. If Superman was really mad enough, nothing can harm him. Kryptonite won't do nothing. If you watch the Injustice game, bro, they had this man in a red prison, bro, like with
Yeah,
red songs.
Yeah, I know.
He broke out, bro. He was mad enough. Like, who the fuck stopping that?
I pick Superman. Yeah,
At this point, I'm gonna turn the key and let your ass. I'm not about to fight your ass.
that's what Batman created that suit though.
Gold Kryptonite in that hand. Same shit. Oh.
Everybody.
My brother came out with everything, but I was asleep, and I felt him get on my bed. Like he put this all I see. I opened my eye, and that nigga is standing over me saying I'm Batman. So I took his ass and socked him, but I didn't know it was him. I opened, you know when you can see but you can't see. So I just tripped him and socked him.
You got wiggle your toes to get out.
You do?
It'll be.
It's like I'm always. So my mom told me like that. That's when you're talking to a dead person. Like, cause I remember one night I was in between. You know what I mean? Like you up but you sleep. That's sleep paralysis. So it's like I heard her say, "Go get your." She was talking to my brother. Go get your brother. But I'm like, I was saying I'm up, I'm up. But it was not coming out, and I was kind of scared. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to die. I was crying. That nigga, I saw him come in my room, but my eyes was closed. Like my eyes were closed. I saw him come in my room and pat me. And I was so happy when I woke up.
I would be so scared if I had sleep paralysis.
That means you talking to somebody dead. I remember what, like 3 nights ago, I was talking to my dad.
Niggas running your pockets, bro.
So I finally gave to.
Man, wait till I move. Alright, so
I got it right there here.
yeah, the poster should be urgent play boundaries. Yeah, no problem. No problem, Pop. on.
Yeah, you got a different pencil, man.
You all got a different sense. Like, I don't have no.
Stop overlooking.
Y'all set up. I ain't be quiet. You just heard. Oh yeah, HLE.
I'd like to direct your memory towards the concept that you're supposed to divide and conquer. So
What the hell?
I'm supposed to pick one topic.
Right, I'm reading.
So you divide it into 3 parts, and you're in group of 3, and you each research those things.
No, so Jaden, you research number 10. And you
I
research
gotta
number
put the
9.
question in.
Yeah, it's like look up number 10 and you look up number 9. And I'm gonna put number 9.
You tell me what exactly get something else.
Oh,
So you gotta put the question in.
Quit touching niggas with the hands.
It's a habit.
Huh?
It was a TikTok. Oh, I thought you meant stop trying to kill people.
Like this shit. Oh, damn, I'm back. Mhm.
I lost my gun.
Huh?
I lost my gun. It's so funny. I came in the house late and set it down. How am I at school with threat?
House threat.
No, it's somebody breaking that bitch. He ain't lasting long. That's 3 pops coming at him. One for my little brother, one for my mom and me. She got his little gun. She got my dad and I got mine. So that's that. Boom, 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 boom.
One thing I'm doing, I get back to my house.
And then you go out the body slip.
No, I'm trying not to break a box. Oh my god, and I'm dropping every nigga that break it. 'Cause my house is so weird though, right? Like we walk in there, right? Niggas not gonna know where to go. Right? But like, if it's people who already was in there, I'm putting oil on the ground, right? Like, so look, it ain't been in the house longer than usual. Longer than like 5 minutes. Longer than like 3 minutes. We bring to my house. So take everything over to 3 minutes. So oil, I'm sticking down. Oil on the ground, everything. Oil, everything I need to do. Nigga, I'm on Home Alone shit and John Wick shit.
Turn off all the lights. Turn it to pattern.
They ain't gonna feel your punches. What's up? Gonna feel your punches out. So,
Did you look up now on here on the computer?
yeah, I'm looking up.
I'm doing 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna just have to.
He's gonna have to make a definition up.
Hold on, let's go put it back there. No, her mom got it. No. Her mom got it. Got that computer that was back there. I'm kind of scared because I'm so close. As soon as I go to my stream, it's like I'm gonna be right up on it. That's not a perfect view of it. Yeah, you got your time.
We got like 4 more minutes.
So my mom was listening to a Cardi B song, right? And it was like perfect time. And she was like, just like a pussy in a rap. like Tom and Jerry. And as soon as she said that, I got my Tom and Jerry mask out of my bag and I just threw it. And it was perfect
That's
timing.
crazy. Pushing the rack is crazy.
That's what it is. Right. Pussy, right. And then just like Tom and Jerry.
I'm gonna just island boy.
You are not no are you in
I'm going to date eight on island.
I lost that gun.
Right, Julius?
I could tell Anthony was not listening to him.
I would.
Anthony, you was facing forward. We all know what that means.
But then, my mustache. Look at that. Look at that.
Anthony used to be like a real straight up ass nigga. Like I used to hate it.
Okay. I'll be over. Hey, Daddy. Hey, saw a video like that. I was like, oh, they put a good whale balloon on it.
What'd you say?
They said like, what that was film, right? They put a good whale sign on it. I said, good whale balloon. That nigga, hey, it was a video on TikTok. Nigga said they put a motherfucking good whale balloon on the motherfucker. Nigga laying hard like this. They put on that nigga arm, bro. That nigga arm. Look, nigga dead. Yeah, I'm too.
Hey, the world is like hella weird now. Like niggas just weird. I was on TikTok. Some nigga was like he wrapped his dog up in a whole bunch of balloons. And that nigga got the floating, so he's like, all right, fuck, how am I gonna get my dog? He just got here shooting at the balloons.
I seen this TikTok where this dude had his dick on him. He just wrapped it in ceramic bags. And I started checking it.
Like he always got his butt love. No, this nigga's on some gay shit. He
I'm
wrapped
with
his
Drake,
dick.
man.
He probably disguised himself as a girl on purpose.
They're the beginning of mission done on there.
Anthony be showing his big toe.
I'm gonna show my face. It wasn't some Instagram call. It was just like our whole class was on one Instagram call. It was me, everybody.
I'm gonna do 11. Oh, you already did 11.
I'm gonna just.
You ain't never do 9. Did you do 9?
Jaden, quit making me mad. Big time.
You dirty, nasty back bitch. Fuck you, I'm not on your team no more. Not on your team.
Oh, eat it. So look, basically you forgot to write the rest. Everything in bed. Gotta write that.
Oh,
Gotta write that. Yeah, you gotta write that. You forgot.
what?
No. Sometimes. Let's look at Dion. They ain't worth the whole great goal.
We all had one mission at Willow.
And what's that mission?
To pull Miss Bradley wig off. And I don't think nobody actually completed it except for Rodney. I think he got 10 days for that.
Miss Bradley wig was devious.
Like, you should be on different sides each other day. Like, that's what we do.
Eyebrows too.
That bitch used to be messed up. He used to crack me. At least she had an iPhone. She did have the latest iPhone. I used to go back to the class just to play on her phone.
When we met her on Instagram, we should have made her a dating app because she wanted on the boyfriend.
She was married.
She was?
Yes.
She was crushing that one that came in for early. She was crushing that one that came in for early.
What was he doing?
I forgot what. Like he was a firefighter. No, he was a crime investigator. All right, Dion. So look, I don't want you to get F. Okay, Dion. So please just lock in. All right, Dion. Y'all got
If it was computer, I would. You had a special maybe I would.
Ain't no need for you to wait so great though.
Mr. Arn not here?
Yep. Big boy head ass nothing. Sure.
I ain't even noticed. What time it was.
Went to that nigga house with his hair dogs.
Don't make Anthony mad for no like that nigga. Anthony.
Huh?
How did what's his name just go in there and start beating on them niggas? Wonder Woman. Start beating on Batman and Superman. She just I think it was Batman versus Superman.
They didn't want to.
Yeah.
No, she was the monster nigga. I'm talking about
I'm
pitting.
about to show you some that Superman. Just put Superman.
Didn't Superman lose?
Yeah, when he was going against the whole Justice League.
Beating on them.
Keeping them the Flash.
Hey, what the fuck? I ain't know.
The Flash thought he was going to run around. Flash thought he was going to run around Superman. Like Superman. Where's that nigga? Flash was scared.
Yeah. I feel so bad for a nigga that just make Superman mad.
I know there's random, but Wonder Woman could be dope. I swear to God. No,
If she actually really wanted to,
no, cause look, no. Okay, you know who for real came?
Cosmic Armor Superman?
Yeah. Nigga's a demon, bro. Nigga's a demon. And him too.
Mobius J. Roberts, yeah.
Yeah, he's a god. He's literally a
Look
god.
at the Batman.
No good. Right. He watching off.
who the fuck is Batman who laughs?
It's a Batman that laughs.
You know who Comics
It's a
explained
third
this?
society.
Huh? You know who Comics explained this?
Mm-hmm. I could be watching video.
That nigga Comics explained this. Everybody.
Honest. He a weak ass phone.
Didn't Vegeta get bodied by Goku when he tried to? Okay. Would you rather take a body shot from Hulk or a Kamehameha from Goku?
Yeah, I do like.
It's the whole country of your body obliterated. No human is withstanding the
You got like a 0.1 chance of surviving. You got a 0.00.
Triple for life.
Y'all know what Saitan is?
Man, I don't feel nobody. I think he beat Goku. I know that sounds crazy, but this nigga is literally finna fight God. This nigga is literally finna fight God. Hold on.
You talking about the manga?
Yes, bro.
He about to fight God.
This nigga. This nigga finna fight.
I'm waiting on the nigga to beat on Goro.
This nigga finna put them bitches on Saitama down.
Let me see.
This nigga about to make Saitama get serious.
I know, but when Goro had killed
This is literally the god of the universe.
you know when Goro killed Bang?
Who?
Goro killed Bang, like, you know, Silver Fang, the nigga with white hair and the old man.
I feel like I know who you're talking about.
Look up Silver Fang.
Yeah, yep. I know who he is.
Look up Goro.
Was he hunting heroes or something like that?
G-A-R. What's that?
Was he hunting heroes?
Yeah, Goro. Yeah, that's it. Bro, he's stronger, but he just killed Bang. That shit. Man, he literally basically put his finger on Bang and everything. That's how he
Going bitches.
I'm gonna fight him first.
And it's
I would be so scared to fight.
aliens of Saitama could beat, bro. I think he could beat Goku, bro. I don't care, bro.
Goro, you know Goro's stronger than
I remember I was watching Dragon. That nigga Vegeta got body by Goku. I'm talking about that nigga Vegeta was getting his paws put to him.
If you want to see Vegeta get paws put on him, let me look at Vegeta versus Jiren.
No, don't do that to Vegeta.
He was the bitch.
You wanna see Goku?
That nigga Goku was getting beat sometimes, but that nigga Goku always came back.
Bro, Vegeta is carrying right now.
I think of Vegeta is probably.
No, look up Android, bro. Android is 18 versus
He's
Vegeta.
bitching this nigga.
Get that charger.
Get that charger. You see,
Yeah, that nigga Android 18.
Look, that nigga had 18 Android. That's why they named that nigga that. Go get that charger. You gonna need it. I'm sorry, it had to be done. It just feels so weird because I can't do it no more. My hair grew back. Oh my god, I don't want to look this shit up, but I'm about to.
Yeah.
I'm about to look up the.
No, I'm about to go back there. Hold on. I'm about to get to
Hey, you could keep. I'm looking this last one up. Anthony, you heard me? Anthony.
Yeah.
You could. Here, right here.
Oh, it's right there. Oh, we got that one.
This.
Oh.
He got COVID. My uncle had it 4 times.
I know it's not people about COVID, don't like that nigga.
At first, we thought he was playing. And
All
then,
these people was able to see my brother haircut when you guys haircuts out of jail. Oh my god. Now, he was
you
in
said his
jail-
shit
he
was
in
messed
jail-
up.
He was in jail for like 4 months, like literally like a day from like 2 days before my mom's out, right? He went to jail, right? And That nigga, and he came back.
That's probably why she died.
What?
Stress.
Yeah. No, it was a heart. It was a heart thing.
I know. That's
never
what
got
happens. Cause look, cause when I told you this story, my sister friend dad shot at them. She almost died because she had a seizure. She had like multiple seizures at once. It's like won't get done, another story, won't get done, and it was like just keep going back to back. And as they like, she finally got up and it was walking up, and she fainted, and we thought she was dead.
One thing too, uh, like she was literally asked all our family members to take her to the hospital, right? 'Cause her car broke down, right? She was asking everybody to take her to the hospital so she could check out her body, right? Check her heart out, right? Everybody had an excuse. Then when she passed away, everybody said X was at the reunion, bro.
How you got an excuse for taking somebody to the hospital?
That's what I'm saying. Like even like let's say if I'm at like a business deal, right? I hold it off. Like it just take it for them. Like ain't that
Seriously?
that's just crazy. And she passed away. Everybody like, oh man. Anthony, I'm sorry for the loss. Nigga, no, you not my nigga.
You gotta just take it to the hospital.
Look at that. She could've still
Like
been
just saying, like with our parents, your life would be so fucking different. Like
yeah, I wouldn't even be. I ain't gonna. I wouldn't be going to school. No, and another reality, I'd be thinking like, looking like a different, like multi reality, like. But you just made a mistake, right? But like in a different reality, like you didn't do it. If you know what I mean, like
But just imagine, like, you know how that little Spider-Man looks gonna be where all
Yeah.
this might happen to us when we see all the other versions of ourselves in the future.
that's crazy. That's crazy thing.
it's like the dumb shit that you know when your parents like they just sit and mess around and do dumb shit. It's like you could just see them. And one day, like I just saw my dad out of nowhere, like that nigga just came down the stairs. He looked at me, flicked me off, and kept it pushing. Who did? But the sad thing about it is I was wide awoke. I wasn't asleep.
Yeah, one time I was scared to say I ain't gonna lie. But it's the only time I was scared in my life. There one time, like my mom used to call my name for everything, like around the house. But like, my brother be doing stuff too, but she'll call my name a lot. She go, Anthony, I'm coming. Then I have to go downstairs. And all that. And like a couple of days after she passed, I was at the house. My sister was knocked out. She was laid up. The only thing you hear is snoring, right? Then nobody else there. Only thing you hear is Anthony. I'm like, I'm in the living room, scared as hell. Next to my sister, I ain't gonna lie. Like this lucky recent. I walked over to my sister. I laid under her. I ain't gonna lie. I was scared as hell. I was like, she man, Anthony, come here. But I ain't going back there. I love you, mom. But I ain't going back there. Ooh, I was not going back there, man. I'm sorry, mom.
Have you ever felt like you was falling in your dream and woke up?
Yeah. It was
You know
one
what that
time I
is,
died.
right?
It was one time I fucking died.
You know what that is, right?
Right, yeah, what was it?
It's like ain't take you up to heaven, but then accidentally drop you. It's like so you was dying in your sleep, so you going up to heaven and dropped you, but you like your soul came back to your body. I saw this one thing on TikTok. A man died in his sleep, and you could see his soul just get up out his body, calm as fuck, like as nothing happened. And nigga got up out his body and walked to the door, floated through the door.
Fuck good deal if you watch Jada.
No, it was like you know Simply Safe is.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they had it in his bedroom. That nigga was laid out on his bed and he passed away. And like
What's this?
rift.
Y'all ever had a dream where y'all you was in the bathroom? Or is that just me? Y'all
But
Yeah, piss on yourself.
biggest lucid dream I ever had, bro. Lucid dream, like you know you're gonna dream, you're gonna feel everything in it. And all I say if I go to right, I feel it. But look, bro, oh my god, I thought I saw a dead family member, right? It was before my mom died. It was a dead family member, right? Bro, I want to talk to him, man. I was like, what's up with you? I ain't want to make it obvious. I heard stories about when you tell me you want to think of lucid dream. They do it. They like hold it, look at you, and everybody in the whole dream will look at you like that. You know, some creepy shit like everybody like hold their mouth like look at
Bro,
you.
that's
Point.
scary.
I swear to God, they will do that.
What?
Like
You
I
tell
would,
them you lucid dream?
yeah. So like they'll look at you, everybody look at you. Only after they'll point at you like that, like the whole dream.
So
Yeah, I bet, bro, ain't you? I said, bro, how am I talking to you? You dead. I like, bro, how I'm talking to you? You dead, bro. Nigga looked at me like this. Then everybody,
I would not, bro. I'd be
bro.
so scared.
Oh my God. Then I saw Willow. Across the street from where I was at. It was Willow. Ran to it. I went inside. Obviously, I want to go inside. Willow dream. It's a dream. I went inside there. This locked door dude. Everybody doing that. That's creepy as fuck. Oh my God. Man, I just saw sleeping niggas. But it's not even stuff, bro.
Bro, you know what? I know everybody has a dream like this. Like when somebody, like a monster or somebody is chasing you, you'll have running slow as hell. That's so crazy.
It's like, damn, you know you can run.
You know you're supposed to be running fast.
Like, nigga think I'm big because they think I'm slow. I'm talking about some chase after me. I'm getting low. I swear to God. I'm talking about I'm hopping over fences, bar. Why I'm going, you is not catching me. I don't care
I
who
was
you
doing the
be.
same speed that Jordan, bro. It was some dog chasing. I was going the same speed like that nigga. You know how fast that nigga. I was, bro. We was go like 20, like 17, no, 20, like 15. We was gone. It was a big ass dog behind it. He was gone.
I remember like my dog got loose one time, and we were trying to get him, and I grabbed him by his tail. That was like the worst thing ever. You got that nigga once. I'm talking. I got the dipping on that nigga. My dad was like, "Come, don't run." I'm like, I'm not about to stop so the nigga can bite me. I'm gone. I juked him. Ooh. Turned back around. Went to the house. I'm talking about gone. That nigga is right on my ass. You know they say you can never outrun a dog.
I never got it.
That's the worst thing
I
ever.
see a dog. I'm not going to nobody yard.
Then you see this nigga on my dick, man. This you see that on my dick. This is like why is they on my dick? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, what is this one? This last one.
I'm doing it now. Hold on.
Yeah, copy it. I ain't trying to hate like that.
I ain't never.
I'll get my laptop charger out on my locker.
Go for it.
hell? Hey,
Hmm.
hey, what you think that is? That's
Give me his paper.
already writing it.
Oh, I forgot I was live streaming. Long time no see. Where you been, man?
You learn it.
That's your paper.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, you done with it? Oh,
What else we gotta do?
I think that was it.
Now, who got a notebook? I'm gonna end up writing it on some notebook paper and giving it to one of y'all. Yeah, cause that's empty. No, it's not. You gotta write something else. Let's do the bar now. Cause I'm gonna need my notebook. Daddy, move.
No, look at that.
How your big ass can't get through that?
You gotta look at the crescents on all the. You look them up on the nighttime. All right.
What else you right now? Stop being gay, man. Like, gay. Anthony. Twice tight squeeze, right? No, don't stop. Don't move. I did forget I was live streaming. Ain't nobody in here. I ain't got no friends. So I got like big 5 subscribers.
You should have sold it. All right, hold
Hmm?
on. I had fucking. I didn't say that. I had
Oh, you wasn't live?
Nah,
You was just live.
nah, that was like last week.
Oh, Friday we just doing them live streams.
I was supposed to subscribe.
You already know, man. I'm your number 2 supporter. No, I'm your number 1 supporter. Even though I don't watch all your streams.
I'm not even post actual video. I just be streaming.
Got my game taken.
Hmm?
Got my game taken for some petty shit. My brother was fucking with me. You know, that's like the worst shit ever. And he sitting here fucking with me. I get in trouble.
No, my shit. Wow.
I'm about to go to sleep. Have your parents ever thought you was cussing?
Huh?
Have your parents like you was regularly talking and she thought you was cussing?
That's a cuss word, yeah.
That shit is dumb, like nigga. But when you do cuss, she don't hear. You could cuss up a storm and she don't hear nothing. But when you be talking regular, I never know. Yeah, for my gun. Anthony, what's the cuss word you never heard me say?
Nah, you leave him alone.
It's affecting me.
She talking about you.
Niggas act like words affect me.
Not even real about
Hmm?
So niggas act like words affect me.
I ain't gonna nice at all.
That shit just pitiful. You don't got nothing better to do. It's cool. Okay. Get your little two last. Keep it pushing. Oh, I didn't do the second question. I didn't know this was a question. I didn't even fucking know. Under the feet. T-U-T. Did you just say you gonna fuck your neck? Mm-hmm. You can send your best friend and you use your best hitter. Look at that. Okay. I think Anthony just planning to slap my head right now. That's one. On your other hand. Okay, that's two. Nothing.
Yeah.
You are here?
Yeah.
I can't breathe.
Jada, you know the people who wear LRG don't care about other people's safety.
Bro, like, what the fuck, man?
They don't care about people's safety. They be ready to box all the time.
Oh, of course, okay.
That's clothing, bro.
I got like 3 of these hoodies. These hoodies. So, you know, I'm gonna have to go to. You know, my colorful one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it had a line on it and it said LRG.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that shit went hard. I had some Coogee pants. That shit sounds so weird. And it was the back of it was like Google colors. I'm like, oh, I got some Google pants. And I was dead. But I'm about to show you.
I know.
You remember? You kept saying Deshaun had some fake ass Gucci shoes, but it was actually Coogee.
I remember who was Dickens? You remember Dickens?
Who?
The Pro Bro pants.
Yeah.
They used to go, bro, them pants go crazy back in like
I'm trying to figure out the ones I got. It's a lot of them, but it's a specific one I got.
Oh, I got a video of my brother. He was here. I think walking down the hallway. It's a video of my brother out here. Got found. He young in it. Yeah, like 2011 though, like an old video.
I used to be the baddest kid in our class. I used to get suspended every other day.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I always get like look, this thing Miss Locker used to give me. I mean, one day, what's his name made me so mad. I chased that nigga down the fucking hall. And look, and I knocked all the fifth, fourth, third graders over. And I feel so bad. You remember Miss Smith and she used to buy the moose course?
When that happened?
When I chased Juwan down the hall.
Okay, I remember you faces you won.
Yeah, and it was. I knocked third graders over chasing him. He was in fifth. All the way they was at the back and I knocked.
Jay Ron wanted to kill Juwan in that gym. Oh my God, bro! That man Jay Ron turned into a lineman and a quarterback at the same time. He was doing worse than Ron for Jay Ron.
But yeah, so it was. I felt so bad for them. So I'm like, fuck, I got 20. And it was like 18 of them. I'm like, all right.
We need our poster.
I went in there at lunch. I'm like, all right, I'm about to buy your whole class some of these candy bars.
Yeah, and then after that, we gotta ask.
So I bought me 2 and I bought them some Dickens. Imagine where Dickens pens got a dick on the back of them. I ain't never like it. I can gas with my gun out. I got the neatest handwriting. Except for when Anthony wanted to write me.
Her mom handwriting in 5th grade was devious. Her mom handwriting was crazy. Like he had his own language, bro, in handwriting. Oh my god, it was like so slanted. Like it was like
What?
that. Like
Why you have to fold it up like this though? That's foul.
it was.
That's what we got to do next. But we need Mr. Duval. Can I go get my notebook?
No, Jaden.
Hmm?
No, Jaden.
Yeah, I'm taking your notebook.
No, Jaden. Who said that wrong?
Like, who notebook did you take?
I didn't take this. No book.
Pest control. Who called about Jada?
Never mind. It's not mine.
Pest control. Who called about my mom?
Y'all don't hear this? Y'all don't see this handwriting?
You heard
Not
my new
mine.
song? You heard my?
Let me see.
I did that. Damien.
They gotta be. That small ass handwriting. So I saw Antonio, the nigga that always wrote small. You remember him?
Huh?
Remember that one nigga in his drawing class that always wrote small? That nigga was like the smallest writer ever. That nigga got so big, like he is tall. Remember Dion? The weird nigga, the weird.
Who had dreads like that?
No, he always had hair.
Huh?
He always had hair. Dion
He was
always.
with Rodney all the time. He had a gap hoodie. Yeah, I remember
Can I
that.
go see if I got a ruler in my
That
room?
nigga, you remember he used to be so athletic. I'm talking about that nigga. Don't leave that nigga open. He can't shoot for real now.
Oh, he could shoot.
He can, but like it's a 1 out of 10
I
chance.
want to know if he's still good at Fortnite. I used to be toe to toe.
I think he's a clap.
No, I'm better than him. It's no wrong second.
I remember season 1.
Don't his brother go here?
They're 56 grade.
It was only 2 of them. Remember, it was only 2 of them.
Yeah, I
2 of them.
remember.
And his brother was always he was in the 7th, while his brother was in the 8th.
Yeah, I
Now
remember.
he in the 9th.
I remember his brother.
Think. What was the reason?
I think everybody has said about Fortnite. I
Yeah,
mean,
Fortnite low key hitting now.
Yeah, Fortnite got way better. They added slides.
You know what you need to do for GTA? Go to the Play Store,
Why
right?
you trying to talk
Well,
about
the
that? Was
App Store,
I thought y'all was done.
right?
With the
Now
free
we got
1
the
mil.
poster.
I do that shit every month.
I don't see the nigga down. You can't even read my handwriting. Let me see. You can't read that shit.
We about to copy it.
Look, it ain't. You not gonna be about that shit. What? That nigga not gonna be able to.
Just flip your paper. What are you gonna do? Read it through the back. Get up.
He used to have his own language. What? He used to have his own language and handwriting, bro. His hand- You know, I'm not-
Hermione. Come on, Hermione. Y'all ain't right. Y'all didn't research. You know?
Who wants to smoke with us? Who wants to smoke with us?
That y'all didn't research. That's not. You're not supposed to do that, Chris.
Pest control. Who called about plates and comments?
You're not supposed to do this. Y'all was not supposed to do this. You know that? Y'all was supposed to research first. Get y'all. No, it's not. Research. research.
Get your partner.
Get your own poster.
Get your partner. Look at him. Look at him.
And you can ask these questions like that.
I guess we had.
Oh, that's a W thumbnail. That's a W.
Y'all supposed to do
Can't
this
you
first.
do down whatever
We
your
can
last
just do it last.
Yo, I can't though.
That don't look like looking it up.
No, that's what I'm doing.
That don't look like you looking it up.
Post it and then go post it.
No, you're okay.
And then ask them.
Lately, I've been in my bag. What happened in Boston? Saying in Boston.
You sit in the bag.
You know you want to let me see it.
honestly I don't.
Being alone. Mess with
Get my dick on shot.
So I wonder who the girl in the relationship.
They're the girl.
No, he not.
She be beat.
Beat that nigga ass.
And they be flinching when she put her head. She be trying to hug him. She be scared. She be ready to go.
Cause she just come up to him and hit him for no reason. And say you don't.
I don't. I'm about to rip his man. I'm about to leave him on the way he's there if I leave. That's I'm still after him. I'm so going to leave him on the way he's there if I leave. That's childish. What you doing? Don't copy that. Don't copy off of that shit. That's not. Stop. No, don't.
No,
I don't care. You work my yourself.
We gotta just make no more notes now. Come on, guys.
Look, you gotta listen.
He don't got his mouth open enough though. He don't got his mouth open enough in that.
No. Like he about,
He gotta be.
well, he be having BB guns like that shit be dumb.
Look. This video right here, right? I'm a thumbnail specialist, right? So look. Hold on. In this video, hold on. Show Dion. Show Dion.
Hold on, wait.
Come on. So look, this one he gotta have a sad look. He gotta have his friend holding the camera. Moving out. There must be something he can do mad, and like he can have fake tears going down out to a cup of water on his arm. And plus he going crazy with the sun.
Yeah.
Who is that? That's your friend?
No, that nigga look like Palm though, just a little bit.
No, I know somebody who got 100K sales.
Hey, this gun, he just bought this gun. This bitch is overpowered. You wanna see it?
Hey, somebody do me a favor.
What?
Overpowered.
Ah.
Hold this Just reach.
My phone, Jada.
Hold on, look. Cause your side gonna crack up. Not trying to be funny.
Look, I'm about to say a notebook.
Pest control, we call about Anthony. Who snowed up? Nigga, who? I think they don't want something, man. I swear, this nigga that will be thinking, I'm like, I can't even say I'm gonna sit on no nigga. I'm not gonna sit on your ass, gonna sit on your ass. The fuck? Yes, you're gonna get dropped. You're gonna get dropped. I did.
Get my notebook. I'll get my notebook.
We need it for our work.
I need it. I say I need it.
I said I need it. The Draco undefeated. Go block and then I bleed it. Go long. These bullets, decision. I forgot the rest.
Her mind is so short, man. He was so short.
That nigga was literally a midget at Willow. We talking about a true small midget, Juwan Chantel and him.
Joseph.
Joe, I forgot about that nigga Joe.
Joseph was this.
That nigga Jojo made. That nigga Jojo made her mom look 6'2".
Her mom is 62.
Goku left balls at so.
You're not 6'2".
Goku left balls.
How tall are you?
And
I'm 5'10".
I'm not sure. 5'9"
5'9" with my shoes off. She just man on my dick.
He just called me short though. He just literally called me short. And then when I say you can't play basketball,
What the fuck had to do with basketball?
You 5'9", they can't play
What the
basketball.
fuck that had to do with basketball? Nah, come here, man. Come here. Give me some that.
I know I do.
Give me some that. Give me some that.
I can look at the best. I do
Give
everything.
me some that.
Yeah,
No, give me some
Dion
real
know I
that.
do everything with my
Come on.
height anyway. I do everything.
Come on.
Damn, we short.
I handle both.
We gonna see tomorrow. Yeah, I definitely.
I'm not gonna be here.
Oh yeah, us two versus you.
I'm kidding. I ain't gonna be here.
Alright, me and Dion versus you also.
I dare one of y'all to try to come to the paint. I'm her mom.
That's gonna be easy in the easy. Why not? Yeah. You know, if Jaden, all he gonna try to do is shoot from deep, like what and he gonna sit. I swear to God, he gonna miss.
I'm gonna miss a little bit. You know some.
Pass me the ball. I know.
You know some of the times.
We gonna double team him in the hole.
And he gonna pass that.
God.
Yeah.
Hey, come on. I got these for a reason. I got these for a reason. Anthony, it's gonna be okay. You don't need to do that. He's gonna block.
Yeah, because you know that's the only way y'all can beat it.
Who? I will bust your ass, Dion. I will bust you.
You is the shittiest nigga.
Actually, no, Daddy is. Everything Daddy and Joel's.
Joel's low.
Dion gonna be in the picture. Yeah, I got you. I got you now. I'm passing the ball to you.
I'm actually the
You gonna hear the
No.
bones crack. You gonna hear the bones crack in his face.
Look, you about to see it. Look. He dropped it. He dropped it. Look. He dropped it. Fuck, that bitch just pretty. That.
I know that tough so well. Brother,
Yeah. What percent is on? 2. 7. Let's go back there. Let's go back there. Cause you need to pitch up if you're on charge too. Look.
I love elbows. Y'all about to elbow macaroni. Passing the ball to him and gonna handle my elbows. I'm gonna handle my elbows.
Look, this it.
No, guess what? No.
Look.
Guess what? I'm about to pass the ball to Jaden. I'm gonna still elbow your shit. I'm follow you around the whole. Take your shoes up off you and put them in the locker room. You'll see it.
Look. So I think that's the new one he got.
What's that?
1911.
That's a BB one.
Yeah. That's not the new one.
all he do is post BB guns.
Yeah. That nigga got 200 or something K.
I think he got actual one.
No,
He probably do. I don't know. Because he got a whole bunch of BB guns.
he do.
He could have bought a real gun.
All of them. He spent like $200 on BB guns.
More
Not
than
to
200.
no, like
Way
at,
more than
it
That's
was
probably 200. 200 itself.
What the
Yes.
drum, I guess for sure.
that drum Mac he been had.
Oh.
He ain't come with the drum. He ain't buy. That's the Mac cover that he just put in there. That look.
Come on, David. Come on, Anthony. I know what to do.
All right.
Good, you fucking
I bet.
We about to drop
Come on,
all
you got a free notebook?
I ain't got no shirt on.
I got a free notebook.
Paper.
So that's the new one. That's the old one.
Paper.
Look, and put that bitch ass pistol. Everybody bitch be quiet.
Man, let's suck this dick. Put it on his mouth and spit. Nigga choking.
Selling tomorrow.
Dude, don't you know how I be all the niggas at Jermon on his first shot? They didn't in Jamar. 2 ball.
Anthony,
And then after we 2v2, we could do 2 more.
Okay. No.
Why not?
No.
Why not?
No.
Well,
We're gonna get demolished. Anthony is not no real good shooter.
he is
Catch it?
better shooter than you.
And I showed him everything too. I'm like,
Look.
man, I showed him
But
everything.
you're not a
This the O one. This the
I am.
Ant.
I am. Yeah, I am.
This the O one. That's no.
I like that one better.
I don't.
I do. You free? You get that one. You get that one.
Now look, that's the drum. That's the drum. Put it on the new gun. That bitch go hard. Look at it. You telling me you wouldn't get that?
I know he talking so much shit right now.
He is. I was watching it on TV. He was talking helly shit. He about to shoot at the box. That it goes straight through the box. Look at it. You telling me you will not buy that?
Okay, never mind.
Oh, look. He about to shoot.
Mine. I hold him back.
He about to shoot.
He fucking it up.
You said wasn't it was punishing that juice?
I'm punishing that.
Ramon.
I'm gonna bite you like that. I sit down, Dion. Come on, lock in. Come on, quit being lazy. Come on, quit being lazy. Come on. Come on. All right, come on. You gotta look up some things. Your line.
Yeah, I need mine done.
Yep.
It's like when you.
That's how bad my shit is.
But your shit ain't been bad.
It's really not. Oh, you should have saw mine at Willow. Damn. My shit be like back here. Don't even say shit. Don't say nothing. Smack you. I thought I would smack you, Anthony.
I ain't gonna say shit.
Exactly. So don't say nothing.
I ain't gonna say shit.
I remember I had a Nike check hairline before.
Like, I'm gonna give y'all some paper. So I got research.
Thanks that.
Research on my brain.
I remember something that said,
Use your brain, bro.
I can't wait to catch you on.
What you gonna do to you want, bro? You really gonna beat him up. You sure you want?
Oh, he disrespecting me there. He's saying you can't beat him.
I'm a,
He gonna put you
it was like, it's gonna be so bad. I'm have to get on my knees.
Sneak up on that nigga. No.
Fuck that sneaky shit. I'm gonna turn his ass around. Me?
Get that nigga in the back of his head.
I'm telling you, it's over. That nigga should never say nothing about my dad.
That nigga
Them
in the back
dirty
of
ass
his
fucking
head.
bands. Like, look at that nigga.
If you hit a nigga in the back of the head, you know that could get him brain damage.
Automatic knockout. You ain't see when Ryan Garcia did that to that one dude?
Yeah, that's why it's not allowed in boxing. If you hit a nigga in the back of his head, I could.
Ryan Garcia did it, and they didn't call nothing for it. That nigga knocked out. Look, I'm gonna tell you.
That
That nigga Ryan Garcia is unstoppable.
He is a menace, bro.
You wanna know another nigga unstoppable? Yup. I
I'll
can't.
whoop on him, bro.
Who he was fighting?
Steve Dog, somebody?
He won. Floyd Mayweather go off on Ryan Garcia.
Devontae, bro. Just saying. Putting him
I
on.
can keep this picture until we switch, right?
Nah, you can keep it for the rest of the
No, I want it. I want it. I'll let it go for a kiss. Can I go to my locker? Like, it's like, damn. Dede, backhand her. When she sit down, backhand her. Like that. Into Sonny boy. Like that was not necessary. All that stumping is like that. That's necessary. Walking, you stumping. Herman, can you hand me my binder, please, and thank you. Somebody stole my pencil. I think it's Herman. It was up there. How much?
What bathroom did we on? Ain't we on like 22?
Yes. Like, where's my notebook at? I don't know.
Wait, what math minute we on?
22.
I go sleep on my locker.
No.
There you go. Never mind, I got it. Somebody pick my pencil.
4 minutes.
I'm not being very suspicious.
explained this before, but apparently some of you don't understand this. Every day, you come in this room, 20 points. For every day, 20 points. You get 5 for being. So I give you 5% for being alive and coming to class and being awake. So 25% of your grade is an automatic just because you're here. You get 5 points for doing your bell work. So if you come to school and you do your bell work, you automatically have at least a 50% today. That's still an F, but that's 50% for effort. Third thing, behavior. If you do what you're supposed to be doing, you get 5 points. So you get 15 out of 20 points, 75%, which is a C. You automatically get a C for coming to school, doing your bell work, and behaving. And every time you misbehave, I take 1 point away. So it drops you down a little bit from that C, a little bit from that C into a D, drop you down eventually to an F. Like behavior sucks. So it drops you down. Last part of the whole thing is, do you do your classwork or not? So when you come around, I'm checking, if you're answering questions from today's assignment, are you doing your book work, did you do your exit ticket? 5 points. So come to school, come to class, do what you're supposed to do, and you get an A. I thought I was going to be putting a whole lot of like outstandings in the progress reports as I was putting them here. But instead, there's one massive problem. The other big part of your grade is Khan Academy and your quizzes and tests, which are in Khan Academy. If you don't do your Khan Academy, you are skipping 50 points. So it's like skipping 2.5 days of school. It's bad, but not insurmountable. Then there is the Khan Academy quizzes. Those are another 50 points apiece. So there is 2.5 more days worth of school. You basically are taking a 0 on if you don't do it. And you had tests in Khan Academy. Those were 100 points apiece. That's like skipping 5 full days worth of school. When I put the grades in for the class where you're here, you get a lot of those points. Some of you guys frivolously throw away these bell work points because instead of doing the work, you doodle on the side of your page, you pick your nose, you try to play on the computer. I don't know what you're doing for 5 minutes, but you're not doing bell work, so you waste those points. Okay, some of you have behavioral issues for some reason. You want to talk back, act up, do your own thing, whatever. And again, cost your grade. That's only a point at a time, and that one actually had pretty minimal impact on your grade. What killed a lot of people's grades were not doing the bell work, not doing the classwork, not doing the Khan Academy, not taking their quizzes, not even attempting the quizzes. Again, you can take the quiz as many times as you want, Anthony, but if you don't take the quiz, you get a 0. Just put his head down. He's still doing it. You were full on forehead to your book, ready to fall asleep.
I was like reading this right here. I was like doing that.
So the point is, when instead of putting in a whole lot of like, oh, they're doing outstanding, I just had to put a whole lot of in danger of failing and unsatisfactories for this bus. I want you to pass. I want you to go to 9th grade, doing everything I can to make your grade as easy to get at least a C in. And some of you guys just are doing everything you can to fail. I don't know what to do. I give you time in class to take your quizzes. I've given you at least 50 minutes to do them. 50 minutes to do 5 questions multiple times. Some of you guys do that. Some of you instead go on nicer type. Again, you're great. When you get an F on your report card, because our report cards come out next month. Come back from Christmas break, we have like 2 weeks of school, and you get a report card. So we're not that far away from the end of the second quarter. And if you fail like classes, to finally week you up, that's your choice. I also have an email from Mr. Neal saying, better start calling some of these these parents and let them know that if they're in danger of failing, they're going to fail, and they're going to be retained and be here again next year. So Merry Christmas. We'll be calling home to let people's parents know that right now you might be failing 8th grade. If you don't come to school, you have work to make up. You have to go into school, do your work and turn it in. If you're not here for any reason, you got COVID, your family's got COVID, your grandma's got COVID, you felt like sleeping in today, didn't want to come to school, whatever your reason is for not being here, you're still responsible for the work. Remind you to end up. You'll find out when you get your progress reports. All right, so right, 16% is a fraction and a decimal. So take 16, you raise fraction, decimal, 0.16. You raise fraction, that's 16 out of 100. 16 squared is, square root of 16 is 4. So this could be rewritten as 4 plus 2 is the absolute value. So negative 2 is 2. We're going to square it. 4 plus 6. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 squared equals 36. What percent is 3 out of 4? So you look at this as 3 out of 4, and I want to turn this into something over 100. So what do I multiply 4 by to get to 100? 25. 3 times 25 will give me 75. So this is 75%. How would you find out what 1/11 is as a decimal using a calculator? You would punch in 1 divided by 11 to find out what the decimal is of it. If negative 48 is equal to 6a, then 6 times what gives me negative 48? So it's got to be a negative, and then it's 8, because 6 times 8 is 48. 10% of 25. Finding 10% of something is beautifully easy. 10% of 25 means 1/10, or 0.1, times 25. All that means is take the decimal and move it over one place. 2.5. This is a really important skill as you start hitting your age now and older. You're going to start doing things like going to restaurants. When you go to a restaurant, you must tip your server. Simple, easy way to figure it out is to take 10% of your bill and then double it. Because you should be tipping your server 15 to 25% of what your bill is. So if your bill is $25, then what you want to do is tip them $5. Next, write the equivalent equation, find 12%. So we're only writing the equation, we don't actually have to find it. 0.12 times 84 will tell me what 12% of 84 is. And then less than greater than sign. So easiest way is going to be to take these and turn them into decimals. So this is 0.5, this is 0.575, and this is 0.25. So 50 cents is bigger than 5 cents. This is 57.5, and this is 57.8. So this one's bigger than this one. And 0.25 is bigger than 0.21. Put these out of 10 at the top. Based on walking around, I'm expecting that a whole lot of people will give themselves zeros. You could have again up to plus 10, and today's date is 12/6/2021. I don't have any pencils. Okay, take your binders, go ahead, bring them over and put them into bins. We're not going to have today, so now it's time to get done. I don't want to be a jerk, but there's a bunch of blank papers over here that nobody's name. This one's got nobody's name and it's blank.
I forgot to bring my book back.
Like
I'll
Nija,
you want me to do the ball?
Nija blank and blank. Oh no, this one says, I'm not sure, is this supposed to go?
Yeah, it's
paper?
supposed to go.
Who's this is blank? No name, I'm assuming based on the fact that I have a Nija and Kyla, that this is probably yours, plus looking at my handwriting, it looks like like yours, name on there. Okay, lot new day, so let's go ahead and get ready to try something different today. Apparently Great Ranks is a great piece of crap and not up today, so we have an alternative. Go to lesson 14. How this works. Go to page 147.
Welcome to lesson 14 of module 4, 8th grade math. We're working on linear equations, and this is the last lesson of topic B before the mid-module assessment. So we're going to look at some special graphs of linear equations that lead to horizontal and vertical lines. Okay, so let's look at our first example. All right, we're going to be graphing 1x plus 2y equals 5.
Where's my
And we're
iPad?
going to this as exercise 1. And you both, you'll need graph paper to do these. So go ahead and pause the video and see if you can find some x, y.
Okay, so again, piece of graph paper that I gave you on Friday out. So you have a piece of graph paper.
That's in my locker.
Well, you should have brought it to class. No, you cannot go to your locker.
This one?
Yep. So you should have used 3 out of the 8 graphs that were on that piece of paper on Friday. So you should have a couple of them so that you can still write. Absent on Friday was only Sunny, so Sunny you get. The only person absent on Friday was Sunny, so Sunny gets another one. He gets the first one. So. All right, so you got the equation 1x plus 2y equals 5. What are values you put in for x? What are values you put in for y?
1 for x and 2.
So put in 1 for x, good. So 1 times 1 is 1, so 1 plus 2y equals 5. What's y equal?
5. I mean 2.
So if I put 1 in for x, I'm going to take 1 away from 5, which brings it down to 4. That means 2y equals 4. So y equals, I just said I'm not giving out more sheets. You should have brought your own supplies to class. So a value you could put in would of course be 1. That'd be a good one. Other things we could put in.
That ain't got to equal 5.
What else could you put in for x?
X.
What number could you put in for x?
Any number.
You could put in
2.
3. 3 would be another good one. We could put 2 in there. What happens if I put 2 in there though?
2 plus 2. No, if you say 2 down, it can't equal.
So it will equal, but you'll end up with a fraction or decimal. Which, that's okay, but I don't know about you, I don't like fractions and decimals. So, maybe not computer. So, in this particular question, it's going to be good for us to use odd numbers for our x. We can use evens, but we don't have to. We make our little t-chart, and once you make the t-chart, what do?
Right.
Put the points on what?
The graph.
Yeah, you graph them on a coordinate plane. And what are we looking for when we graph them?
A line? Straight line?
We're looking to see if they're a straight line, okay? So if we're a straight line, then we know we have a nice linear equation, and eventually we look at connecting those dots, and that lets us know all the possible answers to the equation without having to actually do the math for all the answers in the equation. That's good.
I ordered pairs that make this equation true, that are solutions to this equation. So if you remember from previous lessons, you're either going to pick an x and solve for y, or pick a y and solve for x. So go ahead and do that now. Find about 4 to 5 solutions, and then you can begin to plot them on a coordinate grid. Okay, so I'll, when you're done with that, you can come back and check your work against mine. Okay, so here I want to point out that this equation is in the form ax plus by equals c, where in this case a is 1, b is 2, and c is 5. So remember, this is standard form of a linear equation, and this is what we'll be working with today. Okay, so I'm going to draw the coordinate grid, and then I'll show you some of the solutions that I found. Okay, so when x is 7, we put in 7 for x. You'll notice that y is -1. So 1 times 7 is 7, plus 2 times -1. That would be 7 minus 2 is 5. We put in 3 for x, then we would be subtracting 3 from both sides, and y would be 1. Okay, here are some other solutions that we found in class. And after I label my grids, then I can begin to plot those points. So there are some of the points that we found for this equation. So you'll notice that, and remember from the last lesson, that we're beginning to see a pattern that these are all falling in a line. But again, we don't really know necessarily what's happening between these points, although we can be pretty sure that there's a line going on here. Okay, so let's do exercise 2 now. Exercise 2 is 1x plus 0y is equal to 5. Okay, so this one's a little bit different than the last one. 1x plus 0y equals 5. So find some xy pairs that will work for that, and then come back and check your work against the video.
There's only one.
Okay, so again, take this moment here, make a little t-chart for this equation. Again, this is number 2 on page 147. So if you're on page 147, we just finished number 1, doing number 2. Remember, solutions are going to be in ordered pairs, so an x comma y. So we had a handful, she put some more on there. What are solutions then? Take the equation. I heard from, or no wait, was it from mine or was it Joel said an interesting answer just a minute ago?
Huh?
What did you say your answer was, Joel?
It was only one answer.
There's only one answer. What makes you say there's only one answer?
Because 0 can't be multiplied by anything. Well, it can.
It can, but what's it equal when it does?
0.
0. So give me a solution. Give me one.
5 times 1. Well,
So x equals 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So what does y equal?
Y would equal possibly 1.
Okay, so it would be 5 and 1 would be a possible solution. So if we make a little t-chart, put 5 and 1. So 5 is your x and 1 is your y. Does everyone agree that works? 5 times 1 is 5, 1 times 0 is 0, so 5 equals 5. That's cool. You don't know what 5 times 1 is?
I do.
Okay.
My body hurts.
This page, what page is it? Page 1. What page is it?
147. All right, so again, this is 1x plus 0y equals 5. We're saying make a little t-chart for our x's and our y's. And Will said 5 and 1 would be an answer. Anthony. Where does my 5 go?
X.
Yeah, so where my x is. So I come over here and I say 1 times 5 plus 0 times 1 equals 5. Is this true?
I think so.
What's 5 times 1? 5. So what's 0 times 1? 0. So 5 equals 5.
No, but yeah.
That's cool. That works. So that's the solution.
I think it's one.
Okay, so what do you think?
Because you could put like any number you want.
Okay, good. So 5 and give me another number.
2.
2. Okay, if I put 5 and 2 in here, come back over here. 1 times 5 plus 0 times 2 equals 5. Is this still a true statement? 1 times 5 is 5, and 0 times 2 is 0. 5 equals 5? That's cool. Okay, so Jules had a good observation. He ended up not being totally right with it, but he jumped right to it, which is impressive. So his first thought was, hey, there can only be one solution that works because this can't. So here's what I'm assuming kind of was going into Jules' brain, which kind of was where my brain first went to at first, actually, too. We're used to 5 plus something equals 5. What can go inside that circle?
0.
0. And there's only one thing that you can put in there that would make this true. But what makes this different, what's different up here and right here?
They got y, x.
So this y is being multiplied by 0. So no matter what you put in for y, it's still going to be 0. So if I put 5 and 1,000 in here, would this still be true? Yeah, because 5 times 1 is 5, 0 times 1,000 is still 0, so 5 equals 5, yeah, that works. So any value for y works.
My body feels so weak right now.
So if I think about that in terms of a coordinate plane, that first point, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we were at 5 and 1 when we put a dot. And we were at 5, 2, and we put a dot. And I'm at like 5 and 1,000, and I could put a dot. What other y's could I put in here? 5 and 3, 5 and 5, 5 and 100, 5 and 16. I could have 5
you go
and
from,
negative, 5
a
and
negative
negative,
to
5 and another negative, 5 and another negative. What happens when we start looking at all these dots that we have in the graph?
It's a straight line.
That's forming a vertical line that goes up and down. That's what vertical means. So we can connect all the dots.
My body feels so weak right now, Mr. Cooper.
Do you have COVID? Do you like me to send you to the office? What can I do for you?
Can I get some water?
Come on over.
Water. I don't want water.
Get off my foot. Get off my foot.
My foot.
Okay, so let's look at some of those values.
Good job, Joel. You can say you can say thank you. You can say thank you.
Okay, so what we found is that we had to pick, but it didn't matter what we picked for y, that the only thing that worked for x was 5. So, and that had to do with the 0 coefficient on the right term.
No, what was
So-
that?
Because anything we put in here, y, was becoming 0. This part would become 0. So then x, which is 1s, would equal 5. Okay, and so that's what this looked like on the table. Pick something for y, this would be 5. And then when we plot it, you'll notice this right here. There's another point we could put here. And that would be right there, whoops, right on the grid. When y is 0, given when y is 0, x is 5. Okay. what we can begin to see is that as we fill in parts of this graph, we're getting the actual line that we were predicting for those others. So, you know, everything between 4 and 5 is going to have an x value of 5. So y's in here and y's all along this entire graph are going to lead to x equals 5. So what we end up with is an actual line, and it's a vertical line. You might notice that it's parallel to the y-axis, and it goes through the point there on the y-axis of 5, 0. So one thing we can do is to think about what would this equation 1x plus 0y equals 5 look like if we simplified it a little. And you can think about that for a minute. Pause the video if you want to. Okay, so if we simplify this, you'll notice that that equation is just x equals 5. Because this term, 0 times y, drops out. And so I can simplify it to 1x, or just x equals 5. And so what this is saying is that x is always 5. And even though the y is kind of hiding in here, it's still there because this is a linear equation in 2 variables. It's just that the y doesn't matter because of this 0 coefficient. Okay, so you could think of it as, if it wasn't an equation in 2 variables, we would plot it on a number line like this. So we would plot it right here, 5 away from 0, if it were just a point. But because it started out as this equation in 2 variables, then we know that's what it is. Okay, so it is actually that line, that vertical line on the coordinate grid. Okay, now look at exercises 4 through 6.
First quadrant, 90 degrees. 70, 360. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And these are asking you to graph these linear equations. X equals -2, x equals 3. And then it asks, what will the graph of x equals 0 look like? Okay, so let's do 4 and 5. So I have a grid drawn here. X equals -2, what would that look like? And x equals 3, what would that look like? So try to graph those yourself and then check it against our one from class here. Okay, so this line being drawn here is the graph of x equal -2. And this other one here is the graph of x equals 3. And so we can think of these graphs as these equations right here. X equals -2 is 1x plus 0y equals -2. So these two are the same. And x equals 3 is the same as 1x plus 0y equals 3. And here are the graphs. X equals -2 and x equals 3. Okay, exercise 6 asks us, what will the graph of x equals 0 look like? So let's write that one down here. We've got x equals 0. So this would also be 1x plus 0y is equal to 0. So what would that graph be? We could even, we could come up with some points here. If y is 5, x would be 0. If y is 6, x would be 0. -3, x would be 0. So x is always 0. So that graph is going to be here on the, we plot these points here, and I didn't draw the axis very well here, but you're gonna get the point. These points, if y is 5, x is 0. Y is 6, x is 0. -3, x is 0.
Go back to sleep.
And no matter what I put for y,
Fix it for you.
I'm gonna have
Yeah, go to your
that
body.
0. You can see this is actually going to fill in and
Anthony,
just be the
he
y-axis.
said you need to fix his body with your hands.
Okay, so
He said you need to put his, he said,
line right over.
he said he wants to punch him in his ribs so he can stop.
Okay, so once again, the graph of x equals 0 is a vertical line up and down, going through 0, 0, 0, and it actually coincides exactly with the y-axis. Okay, now we're going to look at exercises 7 through 9. So we'll start with 7. Okay, here's exercise 7. Again, it's an equation in the form of ax plus by equals c, and it's 2x plus 1y equals 2.
All right, so try number 7. Should only take you a minute or two.
Try
Quick.
what?
Number 7. 2x plus 1y equals 2. Try to find 4 solutions. Yep. Number 7. Try to find 4 solutions. So make a little mini T chart on the side of your page. Use some of the blank space, whatever it takes for you to be able to do it. Again, 2x plus 1y equals 2. What are some possible things? Try to find 4 possible answers. These are pretty easy.
At least 4? Well, I only know one. Got it. Oh my God.
So once again, you're going to pick values for x or y, and then solve for the other recorded in the table. Okay, so pick at least 4 solutions to that and plot them on a graph, and then you can double check against my work. So if you have a video paused, you can work now. Come back and see some other solutions.
Solutions I came up with. 1, 0.
So here's one solution. If x is 1, then y would be 0. 2 times 1 plus 1 times 0 is equal to 2. There's some more. If x is 0, y has to be 2.
You said what?
Some negative values for x are good to pick. And we can plot them. So there's our first point, 1, 0 on the graph, and here's some more. And some negative.
I had a negative 1.
When you're
Good.
making these graphs.
You're gonna have some of them, you won't have all the same ones you had, it's just,
Y-axis and both
you
sides
have
of the
cubes,
x-axis.
you
Right?
kind of look and
Negative
see.
and positive values for x, and negative and positive values for y.
Oh my.
Okay,
Okay, so your table might not look the same as her table, obviously. There's a big difference as far as that comes. You might have some same solutions, you might have some different ones, you might have all different depending on what you pick for your x's. But if you graph yours and you graph hers, the graph should be the same. Because if you found solutions, if she found solutions, those solutions all should fall on the same line.
so there's that equation. Okay, once again, we've plotted some points and we're pretty sure that this graph would fill in and be a line. If we pick more and more points, we get closer and closer approximation to a line. Okay, so let's look at exercise 8 now. Okay, exercise 8 is similar to exercise 7 with different coefficient on the x. So this time we're gonna have 0x plus 1y is equal to 2. Okay, so find some xy pairs that work for that. Pause the video and then come back and check.
Okay, so here we go again. Oh my goodness, there's a 0 times an x. What might that do to some of your solutions? See, we got that.
X, I mean, y, okay.
Try to figure out what your solutions could be for this one. 0x plus 1y equals 2. What would be possible solutions?
128. Let me see.
Deal. Deal.
Can we go to the bathroom? Please.
Just,
I need that.
I'm trying to stay up. Oh, I keep going to sleep.
Get your arm out of my string.
Okay, so as you start playing with this a little bit, choose a value for x such as 1. 0 times 1 is 0, plus 1 times y is going to have to be 2, so y must be 2. And if x is 2, then you have to 0 times 2 is 0, so y is equal to 2, and so on. So we found no matter what you picked for x, y would always be 2. And on the coordinate grid, it looks like this. So here's y equals 2 right here. And all the x's, it's the same thing. But this time, it's a horizontal line and it's parallel to the x-axis. But we can fill in, you can notice that, say between 0 and 1, anything I pick in there for x is going to have a value of 2 for y. Same thing with every segment along this line. I get a horizontal line this time, going through the point 0, 2, which is right here, and parallel to the x-axis. Okay, so this equation simplifies to this time the 0x term is going to drop out, and I can just write this equation as y equals 2. So once again, if we didn't know that was a linear equation of 2 variables, we might think it was just a point on the number line. No, right there at 2. But we do know that it's an equation of 2 variables, so that's not the correct interpretation of that graph. Okay. So when the coefficient of the x term, which in our first example was 2, when we changed it to 0, this line went from a slanted line to a horizontal line. So we can see from doing this exercise that no matter what c is, and c is this number here, ax plus b, y equals c, no matter what c is, this line, this graph of the equation when the coefficient of x is 0 is going to be a horizontal line, and it's going to go through the point c, or it's actually the point 0, c, in this case it's 0, 2, right here, and it's going to be parallel to the x-axis. And one of the things that we knew from geometry is that when you have a line parallel to another line going through a point, there's only one line. There's only one line you can draw that's parallel to the x-axis going through a certain point. And so there'd only be one way to graph this equation, okay? So it's going to be a horizontal line going through the point 0c right here, in this case 0, 2. Okay. Okay, exercises 10 through 12 are graphing these equations. Y equals -2, y equals 3, and then exercise 12 is you're asked what would a graph of y equals 0 looks like. So pause the video and see if you can draw those graphs and then come back and check your work.
All right, so what would these graphs look like? When y equals -2. So what we just did basically is we learned that y equals -2, for example, would be a situation when we have 0 times x. If we have 0 times x, what did our graph look like?
0 or whatever number you wanted, and
So your y was going to be equal to, in this case, -2, and your x could be equal to anything. So you'd have y equals -2 and x equals 5. Y equals -2 and x equals 0. Y equals -2 and x equals 10.2 million, or whatever. Which meant that you put a bunch of dots and they all form a horizontal line. So y equals -2 would be a horizontal line at
the horizontal line.
Yeah. Again, if I'm graphing this y equals -2, my x's are always going to be equal to what? They're always going to be equal to 0, but it's 0 times x. So whatever it was, so if I'm at y equals -2, I go down to -2. When x equals 0, y equals -2. When x equals 5, what's y equal? It was still -2. When x equals 10, what does y equal? -2. And so if I put those dots all together, I get a horizontal line at y equals -2. What would my graph look like for y equals 3? When y equals 3, well, if my x was 0, what would my y equal? Look right here. My x equaled 0.
-3.
It's positive 3. Okay. And if my x is equal to 5, what would my y equal?
3.
They would still equal at positive 3. And if my x was 10, my y would be still positive 3. When I connect all these dots together, I get a line at y equals 3. What about when y equals 0? Well, I'd have, if x was 0, then y was 0. And if x was 5, then y would be 0. And if x is 10, then y would be 0. And again, I'd have a whole bunch of lines, or a whole bunch of dots, that equals when y equals 0. Okay, to flip this around, what about when x equals -5? What does y equal? If I have x equals -5, what are my y's in that situation?
I don't know. 10.
So remember, this what we're dealing with here is x plus y equals something. So in this case, I'm saying this is equal to -5. But this equation has a 0 right here. What's 0 times y?
Anything.
Anything could go into here because it'd be 0. So what does x have to equal? X has to equal -5. So this is just simplifying this little chunk right here. We're just simplifying it out, making it go away to get this equation.
We know that this is super easy.
This is super easy. So if I want to graph x equals -5, I go over to -5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I put a dot. And everywhere where x is equal to -5 is a solution to this particular equation. So I connect all the dots, and I get the graph x equals -5. What about when x equals 6? Where am I putting a line at? Through +6. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to have a line here because every place along here, whenever x is equal to 6, y was equal to 0. So we always end up with a line that looks like this. This is when x equals 6. So there's two types of graphs we're looking at today. It's like trying to make this as simple as possible. If you have a y equals, which direction is the graph going? Horizontally. And if I have an x equals, what direction is the graph going?
No.
Vertically. That's it. And that was the whole lesson. We kind of beat around to work our way up to it, but when you sum it all up like this is all it boils down to. It's really, really, really easy. Okay, I'm not gonna make you do an exit ticket today. I'm not gonna make you do homework today.
Yay.
What you're gonna do though is you're gonna go in Khan Academy. So you have a quiz right now to get done, and you have a ton of Khan Academy work that's beyond late at this point.
I need a computer. Drop all of the computer.
I know LeBron James, yo.
That's a horrible.
I know LeBron James.
Huh?
I know LeBron James.
Really don't. Oh, yeah.
No, give my girl.
Could you ask Mr. Collins?
Me too.
I have a spare computer here. It's got a pink post-it note on top of it.
It's under her mom desk.
Who doesn't have their computer today?
Me.
Me.
Let's hear it.
Can we go to the bathroom?
You use it.
You using it? Yeah.
I was gonna let you go. It's getting a lot of annoying. I don't know if I should let you. All right, you guys got 5 minutes. Bathroom break. Let's go. you head over to Mr. Cromwell's and we'll let him know not to let you use the restroom. So this is like your shop to use the bathroom. He might. Well, I know it. You guys just went at level 15. He may be less inclined to go.
Who's that was?
Yeah, right in the corner. So cold. My hands are so cold. That is the change in the water. It's cold. The water's so cold. At least warm. How do I feel cold?
There's probably warm when people wash their hands and there's enough water running through there. That says that there's a whole lot of dirty kids in school. They ain't washing their hands.
Oh, I'm sleepy.
I need that.
Jaden, so cute. Trying to give him a hug. Yeah, you walk in, we pet you as they walk by. We pet you, touch you.
What you want me to step out? Oh, he put it good. He thought what you want me to step off.
I've told you guys from day one, I've been in exactly 0 points in my life. You walk by people and knock me out in the hallway. I'm gonna sue you until you die.
Mr. Bar, you never fought nobody?
No,
What's the
normal
win?
people don't get in fights.
I see.
That's what I.
Normal
It's
people.
some weird like thing or something where it's like you're gonna fight all the time and do all this. Not
It was but I was tired.
yeah, some
We
do.
was playing basketball and
And you like, yeah.
he stuck to action. I was tired. Keep up even No, because my
I was tired.
Stop talking and get your work
I'm
done.
not funny. I'm always spinning while the sun out.
Oh, Jay, I think it, bro. Stop touching me.
Why was that so hard to try to get off? I ain't never left me. I come gas with my gun out.
I have one computer. Vermont came up for class. He does not have his computer. I don't have 5 computers. But where are your computers at?
I got a computer.
They go back to home. Get that. Okay. The back home. You don't know. But you have it.
Can I get that contract now, guys? He wasn't tired.
Vermont. So you gonna do me? Bet. Don't ask for nothing when I go to the store. So I got 10.
I got this.
On you right now.
On Cash App right now.
Okay. Cash. Yeah. I got it in cash.
I spent all my cash.
See? Could have been 15. But I only charged them 10. Who was you fighting? You was fighting somebody? Mr. Duval. I remember I used to call you Mr. Duval. I used to call Mr. Duval Mr. Duval. I think they're the type to play the Ouija board and not say goodbye. No. Who trying to summon the devil?
Fortnite low-key want me to play again. But y'all see how the music.
Did you just say Fortnite wants you to play again?
No, like, I just want to play it again because
I ain't never lucky. I pump gas with my gun out.
You can't like it. You know what?
1, 2, 3. I think my chico might be gay. Why? Cause he blow niggas. Every count on yes man. No, send your best man. You know, your best city. Validate. Peace out, stream. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.